So yeah, there's definitely experiences like that I love to have, in places like Nicaragua.
Right.
And I know you've had in
Well,
Ireland.
in your place in Nicaragua, you probably are experiencing the same thing we do in Ireland. If that's a system, there's a way that your house has to be shut down when you leave.
Yep.
Things that you have to tend to and take care of. You get a local caretaker maybe to keep an eye on things and all of that.
Yep.
Our Ireland place is like the boat, because the boat has a energy management system on it, batteries, right?
Yep.
And we have communication system on it, which are the phone or the Wi-Fi or whatever, and then fuel and water.
Yep.
And so even while I'm relaxing, though, the boat is fulfilling to me because there's still things to manage and do. There's systems that need to be tended to in order for it to work. And it's just this little moving space that we're in.
Yep.
And space matters. So you don't stuff it full of anything you don't need. It's just on what you have to.
Yep.
And in Ireland, when we leave, we have, each of us have 2 of those plastic bins with the lids.
Yep.
And we have our summer, spring clothes. And then we have our fall, winter clothes. And that's it. We put everything in that because it's so moist with stone house.
Yep.
Literally anything absorbs moisture.
So
right?
you have to snap that, seal it?
We snap that, seal it, put it in the closet, and it's turnkey. Everything else stays the same. We keep heat on in the winter at a little level, because Reese and Rowan, they still will come and use the house occasionally. But literally, it's that simple. And we have that rule that anything that we bring in, something has to go out, because there's no closets in this house or anything. Which brings me to another point on that in Journey, looking back and even now. Because you can learn, the things that work will always work. And so when we were in the thick of our stress, back in that time when we made the decision to be kind to each other, one of the biggest stresses that we were experiencing at that time was debt, just the cost of living and fuel, 2 cars, insurance, debt, credit cards, and not enough income. So what we did to get control back is we did an exercise where we actually went on a cash lifestyle. And it started with a 30-day experiment that grew into a 90-day experiment. And it only took 90 days to make some changes. You've heard the term when you listen to these success podcasts, you're listening, what gets measured improves.
Yep.
Right? In any business management plan.
Right.
So what gets measured improves. Well, the challenge that we had, we got a check, and it was a big check. We had income.
Yeah.
But I personally never saw the money because the check came and then they got into direct deposits. So I never got to experience what is money, the money that I'm leaving the house 80 hours a week.
Yep.
What does that look like?
Right.
So what we did was we cashed the check, went to the bank, cashed the check, and then started an envelope system.
Nice.
We had utilities, bills that needed to be paid, and then our disposable cash. And then we each had a little pocket-sized notebook, and we took, I call it the pile of money. I had a money clip. And for 30 days, we only paid cash. And whether it was a dime or $1 or $20, everything got logged. And the power in that exercise is twofold.
Yep.
One, when you're like right now, I do Zelle and I do Venmo and all that stuff.
Right.
That's just a transaction. It's a number, it's math. And I don't even need to know how to add. It's going to do it for me. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So someone sends me the request, I send them that, and then all of a sudden my balance is down.
Yep.
But I will promise you, if that cash was sitting in my hand, every time I'm looking at that pile of cash, I'm going to make a decision. How far down do I want it to go? Because I'm in charge of that now.
Right.
Not Venmo, not the app. So anyway, we did that exercise where we paid attention to the money, to place value on that.
Yeah.
And then we placed value on us because now we realized we're the ones in control of who gets that. Yeah. So now we have a decision we're in charge of. And so what happened was we realized, wait a minute, we are empowered, but who did that for us? We did. I didn't need my employer to empower me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm the one that said, hey, wait a minute. I'm the one doing all this work. I'm trading my hours for these dollars. when am I going to place value on what I do?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And if you don't want to be controlled in life, get out of debt.
Yeah. I mean, the discipline that
Absolutely
that takes.
Yeah.
You were rewarded with freedom.
Yes. And you could see it, the value of that. After 90 days, what we realized is we spent a lot of money on things we really didn't need.
Right.
So then you can start the exercise. Why am I doing this? So picture this. That was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, Andy and I are in our 60s. She just literally last week printed the spreadsheet and balance, identifying the categories of where we spend our money. And we are doing the exercise again.
Nice.
Now, here's what's different. The circumstances are different because we don't have the debt and all that.
Right.
But the reason we're doing the exercise now, though, is because, as weird as this sounds, I asked we have family trusts and we have investment advisors. I asked the investment advisor, I'm 62 now. I qualify to take Social Security.
Right.
When should I take Social Security?
Yeah.
He gave me a great answer. He said, well, that's an interesting question. A lot of people ask it. And he said, the answer to that question requires me to ask you this question. How long do you plan to live?
Yeah.
And I said, well, statistics say I'm probably going to make it to 90.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
He said, how old are you now? I'm like 60. Okay.
Yep.
He said, so picture this. You're going to live a whole nother generation.
Yeah.
He said, how many careers have you had to this point?
Right.
How long were you in those jobs? He said, you're talking to me about how you're going to make it from now till you die without those incomes coming in and feeding. Now you're going to work on your pile.
Yep.
He said, so the answer to your question on retirement and all that is, how long do you plan to live?
That's it.
And then he said, so you have options along the journey for taking Social Security. He said, I would only advise you to take. Now, of course, he knows our situation.
Right.
He said, if you do not have to have Social Security to pay any of your bills for the next 8 years, he said, then my advice to you is to wait till you're 70.
Yeah, because it doubles, doesn't it?
It'll double and it's tax-free.
Whoa.
Right?
So is it age 75? Is that the last time you can take it? The last age you can take it?
I think so. At 70 is when the magic takes place on it. It won't be more valuable at 75.
Oh, it will?
It will not.
So 70
at 70
is a good time.
Yeah, is a good time to take it. But what was interesting in taking a look at that exercise was realizing that at this stage in our life, it's more important for Andy and I now because we have money, we don't have debt. We have strategic debt on mortgage. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, good.
Consumer debt, all that other stuff is done because we went on a cash lifestyle and literally have spent probably the last 10 years actually getting rid of stuff.
Okay.
Unburdening, we call them anchors. Getting rid of all the anchors.
Right.
So that we don't have to do anything.
Yep.
But on this next 28 years, think about, it's one thing to be 62 and say 90, and then it's another say in 28 years. Well, picture what 28 years is. Yeah. You haven't even been a dentist for 28 years yet.
That is a generation.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have a whole bunch of people that are getting scared because there's a lot of uncertainty in that.
Sure.
But I also know that I'm not going to live at 90 like I am at 62. The things I'm going to do, my lifestyle should not be costing me more money over the next 30 years.
Right.
I've done a lot of that. So I get to plan how I want to spend what I have. But what we're doing is we are now taking a look financially at how much money are we spending a year, because are we just not paying attention? I mean, why are we spending all this money? What are we spending it on? And we, at this point, years later, can look at that and go, there are lots of ways we can change even how we are spending what we do have right now by just paying attention.
Yeah.
So I was thinking when we were talking this morning at breakfast that I am right now, right in the middle. Both Andy and I are sitting and revisiting, taking back a little more of our power.
Yeah.
Because if I know, I have a saying that literally I built an entire career on. I was telling you, I went to college. I did not graduate. I actually quit my senior year.
Wow. Okay.
In April. I quit right before my senior year, and that's a good story on the journey.
Sure.
And I'll tell you that story. That was a really interesting experience on that. But I knew I was going to have to work hard, and I knew that not all my opportunities would land in my lap because I didn't have that career. But we're at a point now where I just knew in my journey, the career journey, when you're successful, and I was successful, you have a target on your back, right? So, and you probably have the same thing in the dentistry world. The big business in town's the one that everyone's either going to do one of two things: support and be excited for, or hope they fail. Yeah, it's not always positive. Success, there's a price, right? I developed a saying that I would just remind myself: nobody can stop a man with a plan, because nobody's got a plan to stop. So as long as I stay the course, or as I talked about Andy and I in the beginning, it was Joel and Andy. I remind her it's still us, and we've been through many things. We'll get through this together too. Whatever this is, we're just going to pay attention, watch what's going on. Something's going to shake out, and I'm a firm believer that change is not always bad.
Right.
It puts everyone in a position to have to rethink and take a look and go, what if? Well, what if? And is that right? Should it be that way? Whatever. That's positive.
Yep.
There's a lot of chaos and negativity that comes with it. But when the dust settles, there will always be something good coming out of change.
Right.
So, and if nothing else in this climate, it could be that everyone will just know where they stand. They're not wandering around wondering what they think. They'll start doing their own thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So anyway, nobody can stop a man with a plan. Well, I'm looking at this budget that Andy's putting together going, so we're in charge of being the ones to make sure that if we think we're going to live to 90, we better have a plan together that's going to work.
Yeah.
Now, while it's working, is a good time to start evaluating, not waiting till, what happened? Where'd all the money go?
I think 90 is a good one. If you're going to decide, because health systems are getting better, early detection, better diet, that kind of thing. So I think the average age men is 80, women is 84. I think I want to say, but so 90 is probably the median.
Right.
I think if you made it to 80, that would be below average.
Right.
I would feel that would be a little early early death, but then 100 would be something you wouldn't expect.
Right.
But would obviously be possible, but not something you would expect. So I think 90 is a good one. And yeah, as I am getting closer to my 50s, and I'm thinking about, you're about 10 years ahead of me, I think. So like in the journey. So there's some older men in my life that are mentors, and you're one of them. You're the closest though. Shannon's dad is 20 years, older. My dad was 30 years older. And they wait. I think he's close to 70. He's going to take Social Security soon, but he hasn't needed it.
Right.
So yeah, you can't stop a man with a plan. Having a plan, writing it down.
Right.
A lot of people. I like a index card personally with no lines on it.
Okay.
So I've got boxes of those.
Right.
And so,
do you date them?
No, but I should. I should.
You should.
Well,
because it's part of the journey.
Okay, good. I should date them. And then, but on my weekends, I'll just fill one of those out. Kind of basically, it's like a to-do list.
That's actually a great exercise.
Yeah. When you write it down, it becomes almost like a commitment.
Right.
To do it. So yeah, I love that. That's one of my takeaways. Do you still have all your napkins?
Yeah, Andy does. He's got them in the desk drawer.
Okay, nice.
And it's really interesting because her timing is January. So literally it's almost like a house cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to, she'll do the holidays, and then she wants to go and get all the files and everything all organized again and get them all ready so that when January starts, that's the starting line.
Okay, gotcha.
For me, mine is more fall. So,
really? Okay.
It's weird. Most people are familiar with some form of religion, spirituality, or beliefs and this stuff. We grew up in northern Idaho, camped and fished and grew up in the woods and loved that. And then we got away from that when we went to college and got in the city. Then moved to Seattle and started driving on the freeways. We kind of disconnected from the woods. Yeah. When we decided to go to Peru for our 25th wedding anniversary, which would have been in 2013, 2012, we started training for that. So we trained for a year. Primarily did the Chuckanut Mountain Range, Raptor Ridge, all that. Got into some good incline stuff, Oyster Dome. And both Andy and I recognized, wow, it was almost like on the boat. We think different when we're walking in the woods.
Really?
You know, you can walk on the street in a neighborhood and that's exercise. But you walk in the woods, you're now under this canopy of energy and life, the life cycle. I just love going up to Little Mountain and right now everything's frozen. So you got to be really mind your step is an understatement because everything's slippery, right? There's water in the ground everywhere, but eventually that will thaw. And then we know this, we can count on it. The leaves are going to bud and then it's going to get green and the little flowers are going to come up and then it's going to get dusty when the damp is gone, then it's going to dry and dusty up there. And then those leaves are going to fall off and be very slippery and also could be dangerous a little walking on those trails and rot, turn into soil, and you can count on it. So when people ask me, I keep my funnel really wide when it comes to people on things like religion and politics. And the reason why is because everyone gets to come up with their own idea and beliefs on how that works. And who am I to interfere with that? People ask me what I believe, and I'm really clear on what I believe. It's simple. I believe that those leaves are going to turn color and fall off those trees in October and November, and they're going to come back in April and May.
So seasons change.
That is what I believe. And all the rest of it is just the journey, right, in between, right? And so we are like our interaction. I can go back, I can look at my calendar and I can see your journey. All I have to do is look at my dental appointments in the last 10 years. A connection that you and I have. I believe in people. I enjoy people. People don't have, it's not transactional with me. And I don't have there isn't you have to be a certain way to qualify to occupy mind space with me.
Nice. Sincerity.
I love sincerity. When people are real, I love that. But you're ambitious guy. Take a look at what you've put together here. I've watched this grow. Right. And it was impressive when you started. before you did all that other stuff. Because I'm a business owner, I also know what it takes. Financially, I'm looking at all this equipment and I'm looking at all this technology. You're talking about health. Now, there's a new thing that we're all dealing with now that I think is going to be very beneficial, could be problematic as well, and that's AI. But to think about having the ability to have something, take a look at things that are, I'm going to use a blood lab. There's 50 things on a blood lab that I don't understand or know about. But if you had this AI looking at thousands of labs to find out if there's a certain disease or something that's inevitable, there's a certain condition that seems to be apparent in all of these cases, it would, statistics just say, you're a candidate for that. To think that we could have a tool like that could help us is a great thing. Now, it's kind of spooky, too, if you go down that path and look at it that way. But if you could eliminate that and then say, yeah. And by the way, based on that genetic profile, you don't need to have as much health insurance the rest of your life as you have right now.
Yep.
We can predict that. So now there's a different rate system based on your genetic makeup.
Yep.
Would that be such a problem?
That would make sense.
In a world right now where we have people trying to figure out, what am I going to do? Pay my mortgage, pay my rent, pay my insurance,
or these life-saving drugs that I need to take, you know?
Right. So anyway, your journey and just the way you and Shannon put together your life, because you're both they're fun people to be around and talk with.
Yeah.
I love that you've got this dental practice here, and I'm talking state of the art. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking you just did 2 crowns. Finally, we got those silver fillings that might. Yeah. I'm looking at. I think I might have been in high school when those were put in.
Probably,
right?
Yeah.
And those are out of my mouth now, and I'm thinking, and that all happened in a period of about maybe 3.5 hours.
Yep.
Wow, what a technology that is, right? And my teeth are not anything that I'm embarrassed about when I'm with people, right? That technology didn't exist 25 years ago. The science wasn't there, the machinery and the robotics and I just love that. But it kind of takes initiative on your part and a mindset to, be okay with dealing with the banking and the finances and the loans and everything else, and then have a team of people that are counting on you to do what you said you were going to do, and your commitment to them on their livelihood, right? Exactly. That's a lot of pressure. And then with, I love what you guys have done up at your place and with your Airbnbs and all that. That's a lot of work. Lazy people don't do that. Right?
Yeah.
Lazy people don't do what you do.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people that probably aren't lazy that would do more if they could have conversations like this and talk to people. Yeah. How did you do that? What did it look like?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're one of those people in my life that has inspired me to make decisions like Nicaragua. I don't know if I would have.
God, that's beautiful. I love that photo you sent to us.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, when the opportunity came on and just fell on our lap, I think that when opportunity, meets with preparation, that's when, it happens, right? So you've prepared me. I think you had probably done that. You bought your place, I think, before I did. And I think we shared one time where you're going to stay in my house and I'm going to stay in yours.
Right.
So and we still want to do that.
You bought your place first.
I did?
Yeah, we bought ours in 22. We made our offer in 21.
I see.
So you were in the process of developing down there, and we were talking about that.
Okay.
But for years, Andy still has it. On email, she would get these international living real estate stuff. So for years, probably the last 20 years, we have been knowing we're going to have international travel and living somewhere.
Nice.
It just happened that because Reese was in Ireland and looks like he's going to stay there on the work visa, it was like, okay, well, that'd be a great place to then, if we're going to go, we'll go there and hub, because that will take us where we want to travel.
That's amazing.
Hey there, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Blake Perry Podcast. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to sit down with us and to join us for this conversation. The conversation's not over, though. Come back next week and Dr. Blake Perry will continue his conversation with Joel Semanko as they continue to break down some of life's hardest lessons that they've had to learn the hard way. So thank you for tuning in. We look forward to having you back again. And until then, be well.